For the longest time, I've always known that I had someone by my side. I knew that come what may, I would always feel the warmth of a shoulder to lean on, always assured that I could get through the hardest part of the day and still have arms waiting on the other side to envelop me. In the love of my father's embrace, I found a sanctuary. His presence alone was a warm blanket wrapped all around me, shielding me from the harshness of the world. My mother's love has soothed me since birth. It constantly served as a reminder that everything will be okay, that love comes from her is so abundant and so pure that if there is a love worth believing in, it is hers. What a stroke of fortune to have brought into this world through a vessel of such unconditional love. What is life without a little fellow by your side? And for me, that was my big brother. We would always indulge in every mischievous adventure. With him by my side, I will wreak all sorts of havoc and get away with each and every single one of them because he was my fiercest protector. He was the best of times personified. Some of the best moments of my life was spent with him, not because of the experiences we had themselves, but because of the bond we shared while navigating through life together. As time grew, distance widened, new bonds were formed, my race against the harsh realities of the world caught up with me. No longer did I find solace in the arms of my father, and even though my mother's love remained the same, I could only ever reach it, and my fellow little person and I were like oil and water, unable to mix harmoniously. From then on, navigating the world has been quite a feat. I took several stumbles, several falls, and along the way I discovered a new acquaintance. At first I was unsure of our friendship with each other. She kind of just showed out one day out of the blue, and for a while I wasn't truly willing to let anyone in. But with her, it felt like she had always been there. I just hadn't noticed her. Her companionship has ever since stuck. She remains a constant shadow in my decision. Her opinion always interjecting in every choice I make. Her disapproval is palpable in the air. Every thought tainted by her criticism. Every word stifled by the weight of her hand on my neck. It was in meeting her that then I realized that even the gentlest touch could wield the power to shatter a person's spirit. She is a paradox. Her touch is gentle, yet her voice is like thunder. The clash between the softness and the loudness in her creates an inner turmoil within me, leaving me in a state of imbalance. We never really had a proper introduction. That was mostly to my belief that there was a certain excitement in not knowing. Despite her attempts to introduce herself, I would not let her in. As we got to know each other more, I began to realize that we shared more similarities than I had initially thought. We had the same voice, the same mannerism, and upon reflection, I understood why I had failed to recognize her before. It wasn't me looking at myself, but rather at her. We shared the same face. She was a reflection of me, yet I couldn't say that I was truly her. She was always more vocal, she was louder, and most of the time my actual voice will drown in the intensity of hers. Our compatibility was strained by her dominating presence. It consumed me from time to time, and not in any means intoxicating, but in every way suffocating. Despite all that, I never knew her name. I assumed that since we shared the same face, we would always share the same name, but we didn't. I can still recall when she formally introduced herself to me for the first time. I was in 6th grade at the time, when things at home were not good and unsettling. I found myself grappling with various issues on this very day, and they seemed to cling onto the walls of my mind. Then she came. I welcomed her arrival desperately, yearning for feelings close to the comfort of my father's embrace, a mother's love, or a brother's companionship. Yet she proved to be a catalyst to my inner turmoil, igniting my fear with a shouted warning of impending doom. Despite my desperate pleas for her to stop, she persisted in unsettling narratives, and so it began, the restless fidgeting of my feet, the rhythmic tapping of my fingers, The tightening grip on my chest, the suffocating pressure on my neck, the shallow grasp of air, the subtle onset of dizziness that left the room spinning. In the aftermath of that harrowing experience, I came to understand that it was merely the initial chapter in a series of debilitating panic attacks that would follow me. It was during this period that she unwittingly christened herself with a name that would resonate with me for years to come: anxiety. With each subsequent visitation, anxiety presence looms larger, casting a shadow over my every thought and action, a constant reminder of the internal battles that I have to wage against my own mind and sometimes even my body. I may not be able to say that I have completely overcome her, but I remain hopeful that one day, my voice will be the loudest in my mind, and hers will be drowned out by my voice.